All right, today we're taking a trip around the globe for a kind of global pet watch. We're going to dive into some really important recent news about our animal companions. We've got everything from holiday warnings and major policy debates to some seriously cool medical breakthroughs. It's a real snapshot of the complicated and fascinating relationship we have with the animals in our lives.
So what in the world connects Christmas cheer with a crisis in New York? I know, it sounds like a totally random question, right? But as you're about to see, it actually gets right to the heart of how complex and, let's be honest, sometimes contradictory our relationship with animals can be. Let's get into it.
So first, we're kicking things off in the UK, where all the joy and fun of the holiday season, well, it actually brings some pretty serious risks for our pets.
Yeah, and places like Gloucestershire veterinary teams are really sounding the alarm. And look, this isn't just some friendly reminder. It's an urgent plea to pet owners, especially with kitchens everywhere starting to fill up with all those festive treats.
Now, what's so important to see here is just how common these things are in our homes. I mean, we all know about chocolate, right? But the vets are really trying to highlight that things like grapes and raisins, which are often kind of hidden in Christmas puddings and mince pies, are just as dangerous. Seriously, even a tiny amount can cause really severe kidney failure in dogs.
And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? It's a simple phrase, but it is the absolute foundation of being a responsible pet owner during the holidays. The vet teams are being crystal clear. One little moment of carelessness can lead to a tragedy that was completely 100% avoidable.
And the concerns around the holidays go way beyond just what our pets might accidentally eat. It's also about how we use animals for our own entertainment. Let's take a look at another big holiday issue, using live reindeer at Christmas events.
Okay, so the RSPCA is really pushing back hard against this. On the one hand, yeah, we see them as this magical, festive part of Christmas. But the reality for these animals, it is anything but magical. These are semi-wild animals, and being hauled long distances, stuck in noisy places, and forced to be around big crowds, it causes them an incredible amount of stress and can lead to serious health problems. It's just a huge disconnect between what we think we're seeing and what they're actually experiencing.
Okay, so now we're going to pivot from those seasonal warnings to a really interesting comparison, a tale of two very different societal challenges and two completely different ways of handling them. Over in Karnataka, India, you've got student groups and animal welfare organizations that are thinking big picture. They're not just waiting for problems to pop up, no, they're actually lobbying the government for a huge statewide strategy to manage the stray dog population in a humane way.
So what's their big idea? It's something called the Animal Birth Control Model, or ABC for short. And this isn't some new, untested theory. It's a scientifically proven strategy that's all about sterilizing and vaccinating the animals and then putting them back in their territories. They're pointing to how well it worked in Bangalore, arguing that it's really the only effective and humane way to control the population and stop the spread of things like rabies.
And at the very same time, a completely different kind of story is making headlines here in the US. This one isn't about proactive policy at all. It's about the shocking discovery of a hidden individual crisis that had already gone too far.
Let's start with the good news, because there is some. From a single home in New York, a place that was described as a house of horrors, authorities were able to rescue 17 animals. We're talking both dogs and cats, all pulled from just awful conditions.
But, and this is just heartbreaking, that relief is immediately followed by a tragic reality. 4 cats were found dead inside a freezer. This just shines a massive spotlight on the consequences of animal hoarding. It's often so misunderstood, you know? It isn't just simple cruelty. It's a really complex psychological issue where someone's need to collect animals just spirals, leading to horrible neglect that nobody sees until it's way, way too late.
And this slide, this is where you really see the two worlds collide. The approach in India is systemic. It treats the stray population like a public health issue that you manage with science, with the community, and government working together. The case in the US, on the other hand, is seen as a crime, an individual failing. It's a reactive response that depends on a neighbor finally reporting a tragedy after it's already happened. I mean, these are two completely different philosophies of animal welfare playing out at the same time.
But listen, it's not all warnings and crises. Amid all of these very real challenges, there are some incredible advancements happening that really do promise a healthier future for pets everywhere.
So for this, let's head over to Scotland for a story that represents a huge leap forward in preventative medicine for our animal companions.
Vets up in Greenock are reporting a major development in the vaccine for what most of us just call kennel cough.
You know, it's that super contagious respiratory illness that can spread like wildfire wherever dogs get together. Think boarding kennels, dog parks, especially during the winter months.
So why is this such a game changer? Well, the thing is, kennel cough isn't just one single bug. It's a whole complex of different viruses and bacteria. This next-gen vaccine is a breakthrough because it targets a much wider range of those nasty things. What does that mean? It means way broader protection, not just for your individual dog, but it helps reduce the spread across entire communities of pets. It's just a fantastic example of medical science improving life for our pets and giving us owners a lot more peace of mind.
So, as we've seen today, from the food we leave out on our kitchen counters to the national policies we push for, our actions, big and small, have a massive impact. It really all boils down to this one question. How do we, as individuals, and as a whole society, take all these lessons to heart and actively build a safer, more humane world for the animals we share our lives with? It's a question worth thinking about. Thanks for tuning in.